knows that, you know. Sorry, carry on.
That's okay. No.
Bad pun. Forget it. Forget it.
Small checks, John.
Don't worry.
The joke you were reaching for was the BBC's back in small checks.
That used to be the gag.
Card, debit, that's fine.
We're rolling, ready.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, Paul and John, how are you both?
We're fine,
really well.
thank you.
Really well.
Did you enjoy
the best
the talk?
it's ever been since we left the Beatles.
John and Paul.
Did we enjoy it? Yes, it was fine, and we were, as one always should be, asked questions that we didn't know the answers to. There was one particularly about whether, when writing comedy, we followed the sort of Jungian ego-id Freudian. Well, I know Freudian. Yes. To which the answer is, I never thought of it like that. But
and then it turned
yes,
out
if you
we
want
absolutely did.
We absolutely did.
Yes, we just called them different things.
Yes, I mean it was to do with most sitcoms are, no matter where they're set or the actual blood relationship of the characters, are actually about families. Family, you know, The Office is a family. My family is a family, but Fab is a family. You know, it's difficult to find a sitcom that isn't about a family. Dad's Army, family. Mum, John Le Mesurier, Dad, Arthur Lowe, and lots of kids.
I think Red Dwarf's slightly different in the sense that it's Matto and Lemon. It's two people who can't stand each other, who for some unknown reason, it's Steptoe and Son.
Yeah.
Two people who really can't get on together are locked into a situation where they can't escape, and 3 million light years away is a pretty good
That's the thing we didn't say, actually, which is the John Lloyd theory of comedy, isn't it? Which is that sitcoms are about people who are trapped.
Yes. And his other theory is, and there's never been a good one with a sofa in it. It's John's famous statement. There's never been a good sitcom with a sofa in it. But
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
No,
that's true. That's got a sofa in it.
Until Death Has to Do Part. But,
exactly.
But yes, no, it is about people who are trapped.
People who are trapped.
People
who can't get away from each other for some reason. Family, obviously, is the most obvious because you can't change your relatives. Lloyd also always used to say that the perfect episode of any sitcom should be your main character's trapped in a lift for the whole episode. There was an episode once of One Foot in the Grave in which they're trapped in a motorway traffic jam, and in a way, if your characters are working, you should be able to write the episode that's just everybody trapped in lift/traffic jam.
There's a famous story, John, of in the days of Till Death, when Johnny Spate, the writer, was notoriously late with his script, and the producer said to him, this script is so late, Johnny, that it has got to be, he hadn't written it, we're going to rehearsal on Monday, it's got to be the four of them in the drawing room, that's it, we can't order any more costume, we can't order any more design, it's got to be the four of them in the drawing room. And of course he wrote an absolutely brilliant script, given that restriction. Okay, well what can I do? The four of them are sitting there. You get to the essence of what they are. I think a lot of writers, I mean, Bottom did the famous one on the Ferris wheel when they got stuck up in the Ferris wheel overnight. Did you do that?
Yeah.
I think it's something that writers and performers like.
Yes,
they
it's
really
a challenge.
Do like this. It's a challenge, but it does. If it's a good show, it'll work because you know what the essence of your characters are.
It sounds like quite an important thing to tell writers, obviously, is to get your characters to this point.
Get your character.
Well, if you can, you're making a good point. I mean, we were trying to say to them. Don't start writing it unless you've got something a character you really want to talk about. And actually, that maybe is a test to say to yourself, could I write a whole half hour about this one or these two people? Because if I haven't got enough material and ideas right at the beginning, when I haven't used up any jokes, to write a whole half hour episode where they are locked in a lift, then I probably haven't got enough to write 20, 30 episodes.
And the character probably hasn't got enough.
The character therefore hasn't got enough facets.
I'd say the thing, if they could just take on board that comedy is essentially closed. Paul
We've got it.
Yeah, look, you know,
it's
there
covered.
isn't really.
Don't buy your mortgage on it. Don't take out a mortgage on it. It's very, you know, I think it's got slightly better, John.
It has.
I mean, I tell you what, the last couple of years, 7, 8, 9, were as bad as anything I've ever known. It's very, very hard. And I mean, people will say the In-Betweeners and Gavin and Stacey and so on, but you know, to write genuine narrative sitcom,
it's hard.
It's very hard, and it's very hard to get anybody to buy it at the moment.
I think, I think you're right. I think it's less hard than it was. And again, that echoes America. America fell out of love with half-hour sitcoms, and all the half-hour sitcom writers went off and wrote Lost and Desperate Housewives. And
Mark Cherry, the classic example, with Desperate Housewives.
And then a few sitcoms suddenly came back.
And suddenly it's the fashion.
And suddenly
again.
there are lots of them now. So there's Modern Family, and there's Parks and Recreation,
and what's it called?
Cougar Town.
Rick and Molly and Cougar Town, and Mike and Molly, and
You know, suddenly they're back, and there's no real reason other than if one network has a hit with a sitcom, all the others want them.
Yeah.
So, by the way, when you get a hit with a sitcom, it's the gift that gives forever.
Yeah.
It's the gift that goes on giving. I mean, 40 Towers still makes significant amounts of money for the BBC and for John.
Bringing it sort of into context as well, you guys have obviously seen a shed load of comedy in your time and everything that's been going on, the development. Obviously, you don't want to watch anything that anyone else did.
I know, I don't want to watch anything I did.
I never watch his stuff. Never watch his stuff.
How do you think what are commissioners now looking for in terms of the internet, and how has that affected their
development? They're looking for what they've always looked for. They're looking for hits. They don't know where they are. They don't know what the next one will be, but they're looking for hits. And in America, and I don't necessarily think they're wrong, but if they have a hit, they want a hit that's a bit like the hit. Here we sort of know that if we have a hit, the next hit won't be anything like that. So,
but as far as the new media is concerned, I think they're looking at the new media rather than. It's very few people are looking to put a new comedy on to the net. I mean, BBC Extra purportedly, run stuff on BBC Extra so that they spot hits or popular things and take it back.
Yeah, I think it's more useful for artists.
The biggest hit has been Ronnie Corbett doing the Blackberry sketch, so not something that they could then feed back in.
But it should be said that there are
they're looking for artists, they're looking for writers.
There are various artists.
They're not looking for that film to make it into a half-hour comedy.
So they're not certainly looking for one piece of...
I don't think so. I think they see something, they think that guy knows funny. And it comes back every time. People are funny or they're not. People follow the funny, and it's amazing how often it doesn't get.
And that Ronnie Corbett sketch was quite fun.
Well, the Ronnie Corbett sketch was a very, very clever sketch written by two new, young, very good writers. 12 million hits. Ronnie and Harry talking about Blackberries, Yeah. But it is the biggest hit, I think, the biggest comedy hit that BBC's had. So it's not going to be the new future.
No, but obviously they're still looking to
find a show for Harry and Ronnie now. Actually,
I'll tell you. To a certain extent, it's sort of circular because. Who knew that the thing that would be a big hit in 2011 is something that's very old-fashioned, which is a slightly upper-class girl who also talks to camera. I'm going to fall down now. Falls down. I fell down. In a studio with an audience, something which we thought, we've all, that's yesterday's stuff. But actually, it genuinely felt like there was a need answered by that show. That an audience who'd gone, I don't know, it's all too clever or filthy or something, found Miranda and loved her
and
just
America,
for being old-fashioned.
Coming back from this period where they fell slightly out of love with comedy, and they did go into things like Arrested Development and My Name Is Earl, which was the single-camera comedies. The big hit the big comedy hit from this season is a show called Michael Molly, which is absolutely traditional blue-collar studio audience, two protagonists, family comedy, and it's the big hit of the season.
So hopefully we might get something alternative next when it comes back around to the 80s period.
Yep, we're remaking The Young Ones for UK Gold.
Oh,
we're not.
Paul Jackson, John Plowman, thank you very much.
Sorry, we've gone. We're out of frame.
It's brilliant.